Today I'm going to tell you about 3 books that changed my life, and then I'm going to give them away to you completely for free. I'm going to give them away to you for free. Completely free. Free completely. And then I'm going to give away what's inside of the secret box to you for free at the end of the video. Book number 1. The Power of Unwavering Focus by Dandapani, with this beautiful picture and his big brown eyes. The whole book, obviously, as with the name, is about focus, but I interpreted it from a slightly different angle, from a more macro point of view. My whole life, just to preface this, I've been jumping from project to project. One thing I took away from this book, obviously this is more about focus on a micro level, but one thing that I took away from it, if you zoom out and look at it from a bird's eye perspective and overlay the mindset of focus over your life, what I realized is that if we just stuck to one thing in life and really just focused on that thing, and even when it got tough, even when it got boring, we just carried on sticking to that thing, we would be so much further in life rather than jumping ship and jumping to the next best thing, which is basically shiny object syndrome. When we see something, it looks shiny, it looks new, it looks easier, and that it's not really what it's made out to be. I like to call it the top of the mountain effect, which is if you have a mountain and you want to get to the top of the mountain, there may be many routes. And if you choose one route and you get up to here and then you get distracted, maybe your friend calls you and says, hey man, there's another route to the top of the mountain. You should come and try this route. And you spend all the time getting to that route to get to the top of the mountain, where you could have just carried on going forward. You've wasted a whole lot of time, and then you don't really progress. Then you go a little bit further ahead on that route, and then another mate calls you and he said there's another route that you can use to get to the top of the mountain. And then you change again. And again, you're wasting time. And then you have to start from here. And instead of jumping from route to route, if you just carried on, you'd probably get there a lot faster. I'm going to tell a quick succession of stories which emphasize the main point from this book, which has really made a crazy difference in my life. And the first one is my girlfriend calls me in tears from America saying, we can't stay in the apartment anymore, we have to leave. It's such a nightmare. In the States, it's a nightmare to get apartments. You have to put down payments on, all the paperwork, and it's just basically a mission. But what ended up happening is that we found a much better apartment, and that wouldn't have happened if we didn't have to leave the previous situation. The next story, again, my girlfriend calls me in tears saying, I have to leave my work. I've had a terrible situation with the boss, not a good work environment. I don't like this at all. I'm gonna leave. And I tell her, no, you have to stay, just stay for a bit. No, I'm not gonna stay there. I have to leave. I have to get out of this situation. What ended up happening was that she actually found work that was a lot better. The pay was much better. The work environment was much better. And it was just a better situation all around. Again, that wouldn't have happened if she didn't have to leave the previous work situation. The third story that I want to use to emphasize the point that I learned from this book was that on one of the times that I tried to come into the US, they stopped me at immigration and they kept me there for hours and hours and hours on end. And I had to go through some heavy questioning. At the time, that's awful. I thought, I don't want to be here. I can't think of anything worse than this situation. But what ended up happening is that it forced me to think a little bit deeper in terms of the visa that I needed and really put a lot more effort into that area. What ended up happening, got a much better visa, entered much easier, and also I can stay here for a lot longer without any issues. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that shit situation happen. The premise of the book is to let life happen and don't always try and force the situations that you think should be happening. Don't try and force the outcome, because in the moment, oftentimes situations feel really, really shit. But then what we learn afterwards is that those shit situations are our biggest opportunities for growth, and what ends up happening after that is normally something great, but it's very hard to join the dots looking forward, and it's really easy to look backwards and go, I'm so grateful that that had happened. What this book helps us do is really, when we are going through those tough situations, to look at them from a slightly different angle and to think maybe something a lot better is going to come from this situation. As one mentor told me once, swim with the flow of life. Don't try and swim against it, because you will drown every single time. Finally, God damn it, $100 million offers by Alex Hormozi. When I was in London working at a previous job, I was talking with an entrepreneurial friend, and he said, man, you've got to make some money. Create a product. And I thought, I'm going to create a product. I spent a week solidly creating that product, filming, scripting, producing, trying to sell. And guess how many people bought it? Absolutely zero. Not one person bought that product, which is extremely frustrating. This whole book is geared towards creating products and creating offers that actually work. I'm not going to go into it because he does a much better job with all of the pictures. I quite like the pictures, you know, makes things easy to follow. You know, books with pictures, much better. But if you are an entrepreneur, if you are trying to sell any product or make money online, I would highly recommend this book. It's probably the best business book I've ever read when it comes to packaging a product that will actually sell and make money. Like I said, I'm going to give these 3 books away. So send me an email at journeyofles@gmail.com and I will send them to you for free. But obviously you've got to be fucking subscribed. So send me a snapshot that you've subscribed and what's in the secret box. Haha! The secret box contains more books. 2 amazing books. These are Alex Hormozi's latest books, $100 million leads. I'll give them to you for free as well. Send me an email at journeyofles@gmail.com and I'll send both of these. Well, if you send me one email, I'll send you one. I'll send you one of these. Obviously screenshot that you've subscribed as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.